Hello and welcome to another update. In this one I'll be covering the whole front line and I'll be introducing you to this new format. So I have started using a new format where I essentially will show the areas where there are mutual shelling. I still haven't put in the sources for all of these areas, but I'll be looking through them and then adding them as I go. But for now, this is my estimate based on my daily reporting that I know that there would usually be shelling every day, essentially. And I have three colors. There's blue and red, as you all know. And then I've added black. It is for when it is mutual. When both sides are attacking, when both sides are shelling, it'll be black. When it's Ukraine attacking or shelling, it's blue. When it's Russia attacking or shelling, it's red. So I'll have shelling and I'll have fighting, and then I'll add more as we go to give a larger variety as for what's actually happening, whether it is assaults, whether it is mechanized assaults, whether it is anything else. I'll have them to show more accurately and explain more accurately what is actually happening. So starting out, there is mutual shelling across essentially the whole front line. In the southwest, through the Dnieper River, all the way from Kherson to Zaporizhzhia, there's shelling across it, where the Russian forces are mainly shelling around Kherson, and the Ukrainians are shelling back across the river line at the Russian positions. So the Russians are shelling fortified positions as well as group gatherings, artillery places, and so on in the Kherson area. And the Ukrainians are mainly doing counter battery strikes as well as attacking ammo depots and so on the Russian side. And that is across the whole front line. And then there's also the shelling by Enerhodar nuclear power plant as well as Nikopol across the Dnieper River. Then we see here by the Zaporizhzhia front, there's not a lot of fighting. There's mainly just artillery shelling across, as both sides continue shelling troop gatherings, ammo depots, and so on, just like in the Kherson region, except here there's no river in between. It's just a front line and a gray zone, and then they shell across. As for the Donetsk region, there used to be a lot of fighting here, but it seems that it has mainly switched over to artillery fighting, as neither side is taking the initiative to launch any offensives. They're not trying to take any new territory. They're just mainly shelling each other, which shows that the Russian forces actually have the initiative, because when a certain form of fighting is the main one and one has a significant advantage within it, then it's most likely those who are going to have the advantage when they're fighting through that. So when they're mainly fighting with artillery usage and Russians have a significant advantage within it, then it's most likely because the Russians want to fight within it and the Ukrainians are unable to pressure the Russians to turn the battlefield or fighting style into something else. So essentially what we're seeing is that the Russians are continuously shelling the Ukrainian positions. The Ukrainians are trying to counter battery strike mainly, but also to attack with artillery any advancing Russian columns. And then the Russians are trying to destroy the Ukrainian defensive positions, especially around these frontline villages and cities, as they are trying to destroy the Ukrainian fortified positions. So although the Russians have a significant firepower advantage, the Ukrainians are also very well fortified, which means that although they are getting hit a lot, most of the time they aren't actually getting hit. It's just the positions getting hit. So this is why it's a long drawn out battle. The Ukrainians are hiding in their defensive positions, and the Russians are just breaking them down brick by brick. Then we see in the Bakhmut front, there's a little fighting here to the southwest in the northwest of Klishchiivka, but other than that, it is also mainly shelling here on this part of the front line. The same with to the northwest of Soledar and this area in general. There's a lot of shelling, not a lot of assaults. As for the seawest front, it is the same here, a lot of shelling. There are a few assaults here and there, especially around Bilorivka and Spirne. However, it is mainly artillery fighting here as well. As for the Serebryansky forest area to the southwest of Kreminna, there's a lot of fighting here by both sides. Both sides have infantry as well as armored vehicles attacking each other within the forest area, especially for the intersections and so on here by the southwest, northwest, east of the forest area. But the rest of the front line is mainly shelling all the way from Zaporizhzhia to Kreminna, as both sides continue attacking each other's group gatherings here on this front line. In this part of the front line, there's not a lot of ammo depots and so on, They are mainly behind Kreminna and Svatova, as well as behind Kupiansk and so on. So the main shelling here is on armored positions, as well as group gatherings on both sides, as they want to prevent each other from gathering enough forces in one place to launch an offensive. And that is all for this update. Thank you for watching and have a great day.